Homebeerbrewery. Hello Brewtubers, and thanks for tuning in again on Homebeerbrewery's channel. The noise on the background is the dishwasher, I apologize, but this is a spontaneous video. I'm brewing today a batch of beer again. First of all, grab myself a really nice homebrew. This is the Autumn Amber Ale. A little bit darker because in this version I use some Melanie malt. Not going to do that again. Beer's taste is cheers. It tastes good, but I'm familiar with the old-fashioned Autumn Amber Ale that I always brew, and this is kind of weird for me. But it's still a tasty beer. I'm not going to make 50 liters of this again, but looks great, right? Actually, a brew day. I'm currently at the mash stage. Already 60 minutes of mashing at 63 degrees is done. Today I'm brewing an IPA. I decided to grab the camera and show you the types of hops that I purchased. It's a new type of hop. I purchased 1 kilogram bag, so it's a huge brick of compressed hop pellets. It's a new type of hop. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's hop out of New Zealand, and it has a distinctive pineapple, more tropical fruit taste and aroma. I will put in the more info section more info about that hop. I paid 80 euros for 1 kilogram, and I bagged and sealed everything in smaller portions, like the 50 gram I have over here. So I made 75 gram bags, 50 gram bags and 25 gram bags. The aroma on this hop, guys. Tell you this multiple times, but you have to try this yourself. Nectaron hops. It's a new type of hop. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, I can't show you the aroma of this, but nice green, but fresh. Check out the more info section of this video about the hop type of for this brew. So it's going to be an IPA with only Nectaron hop as the hop type. So I have this, may be nice to show you. I'll pick the camera up. My youngest daughter is old enough, so we don't use these small containers anymore. So, but it's very handy for me, especially with the small batches. You can see 60 minutes left on the boil. Can you see? They don't tip over. 40 minutes left on the boil. 30 minutes left on the boil. 15, 10 and 1 or 0 at beginning of cooling. The hop type, Nectaron, 60 minutes left on the boil. It's going to be 15 grams. 40 minutes left on the boil. It's going to be 10 grams. 30 minutes left on the boil. 15 grams. And for the aroma hop, we'll put it in right before cooling. This is 20 grams, so 50 grams total. And this, by 10 minutes left on the boil, I have 2 grams of yeast nutrient and a quarter of a tablet of real flock. Here we have the inside of the Braumeister. Told you earlier, I mashed already for 60 minutes. We have a pump break and now it's starting again. Nice word, but there is more work to do. Multiple steps. Well, enough about the hops, the Nectaron hops. There's more info in the more info section. I'm not going to show you the complete brew day, guys. I didn't prepare for it to record everything. I'm going to show you a couple of clips so you have an impression of my brew day. And of course I will show you the end result, the beer, in a couple of weeks. Mash schedule, 70 minutes at 63 degrees Celsius. It's always the same with my IPAs. 5 minutes 73 degrees and 5 minutes 78 degrees. There's 12 liters of mash water in it. I started with 12 liters of mash water, and I don't know the exact amount of Sparge water. I can look it up. 3.86 liters of Sparge water. I did already a pH test and it was 5.57. Close enough for me. Yeah, I told you the hop additions. Of course, grain bill. Very simple this time again. I'm not going to expect this IPA very clear because I use some wheat malt. So I have 2.2 kilograms of pale malt, 225 grams of carapils and 175 grams of wheat malt. So very simple grain bill. I expect an original gravity of about 1.054 and a final gravity of 1.010. I'm going to use Seville US-05 yeast. Expected IBU will be 72, pretty bitter, and the EBC on this one 7.7, so very light colored. Well, Nectaron hop, I can't wait. I can smell it over here. It has a very fresh aroma on it, and I'm curious how it turns out in the beer. Well, I'm going to show you some clips in this video. Please keep watching. There's 4.5 minutes left and it's time to heat up the Sparge water. For the small batches with the 10 liter spiral Braumeister, I'm just going to add hot tap water and some boiling water to it. Sparge water temperature has to be 78 degrees Celsius as well. You can hear the sound. This is the end of the mashing process. Remove the mold pipe. Alright. The winglet is extremely hot, so I use something like this to remove it. Here we go. Ooh. Well, I lift the mouth pipe out of the Braumeister. Time to Sparge. It's extremely important. There is a hole in the grain bed. First we have to close it, otherwise the water will run straight through that hole and it will make a mess. It will take a lot of grain particles with it inside the Braumeister. This is the Sparge water. Going to Sparge very slowly to Sparge all the sugars out, the remaining sugars. Meanwhile, I'm going to command the Braumeister to start boiling. We're all familiar with the process. Almost at the boil, it's 99 degrees Celsius. You can see there's activity going on. Braumeister is giving a signal to remove the lid because it's boiling already. It will take a couple of minutes more to get a good rolling boil going on. In my opinion, this is a good boil on the 10-liter version. I'm going to start with adding the first hop addition at 16 minutes left on the boil. Oh, smells fantastic. "40 minutes left on the boil. Another hop addition. "30 minutes left on the boil, time for another hop addition. "15 minutes left on the boil. Going to put in the preheated water chiller. I preheated the water chiller to prevent the temperature drop. 10 minutes left on the boil. Yeast nutrient and a quarter of a tablet Whirlfloc for clearing. Brewing is completed. Time to cool this batch down. I moved the Braumeister to the brewery. It's easier for the cooling process over here. In the brewery also I'm going to transfer the wort into this fermenter. Sanitize the lid. I activated the pump. You can see now it's pumping. Pump switched on. So the cooling process goes a bit faster. And I need to remove the jackets. I forgot that. The 1 minute left on the boil reminder normally is for me a reminder to remove the jacket. But maybe you saw it already during the brew day. I'm also preparing dinner. So I was a bit busy and forgot to remove the jackets. Maybe it's nice to mention that I'm going to track the fermentation process with an ice spindle. I soldered myself some ice spindles, very cool product. And previous brews proved that this device is working awesome. So here I have a close-up of the product, soldered it myself, ordered some PCBs off eBay, a gyroscope, a Wemos D1 Mini and a TP4065 battery charger and a charger of course, and some peddling bottles. This is the, I call it the homebeerbrewery ice spindle red because it has a red cap on it. This one is calibrated and works like a charm. I'm going to throw this after switching on in the fermenter and it tracks the fermentation. The last couple of brews I did in this is a Brewtech brew bucket and I sanitized it just with a spray bottle. Saves me a lot of sanitizer, and it works. Maybe some of you guys already noticed that I attached a 1.5 inch port on it. This is an addition port for later hop additions or spices or something. So you won't have to remove the lid or use this small tiny hole. Let's prepare the ice spindle. The wort has cooled down to 21 degrees Celsius. Now I'm going to rest the wort and let the troop settle for about 15 minutes. With the lid on and without the cooler, of course. I've sanitized the spigot, the valve on the Braumeister, sanitized fermenter, transferring the wort into it. By this way you get a good wort aeration for a healthy fermentation. Taking a gravity sample. Over here is a sanitized bottle with yeast slurry. It's under pressure. Smells fresh. It goes directly into the fermenter. USO 5. Let's wash everything out. May you become happy yeasties. Over here I have a measuring cup with the sanitized ice spindle. There it goes, directly in, stopping the valve because there is about 10 liters inside the fermenter. You can see it. Let's put a lid on it. After 7 days of fermentation, it's time to weigh out 15 grams of Nectaron hops. As you can see here, this is a bag of 25 grams, so I need to weigh it out. On a scale in a small cup, and as you can see now, it's 15 grams. The ice spindle tells me the specific gravity is 1.011, so it's almost at the final gravity of the final fermentation. My rough guess is that tomorrow the fermentation has been completed. Here you have a close-up of the lid with the TC port on it, 1.5 inch. Unfortunately I didn't push the record button, or I lost or I deleted the file putting the hops into the fermenter. But what I basically did is opening the TC port on the lid of the brew bucket, and I directly throw in the 15 grams of Nectaron hops as a dry hop. Nothing special, but I lost that file. I told you earlier in the beginning of this video it was a spontaneous brew day, no preparing and no planning. But today, actually 7 days after putting the dry hop into the brew bucket, it's time to bottle this batch. I'm only going to bottle it. After 2 days after putting the dry hop in, I set the fermenter inside the brewery where it's about 14 degrees Celsius, so I had a little bit of cold crash. And now let's bottle this batch. I'm not going to make a lot of footage about it. The bottling process is almost the same every time at Homebeerbrewery's brewery. First of all, cheers to homebrew. everything on standby. This is the capper, sugar sticks, caps, bottles, already clean bottles but not sanitized. I'm going to sanitize it by hand with some Clean solution. This is the fast rack to drain them out, the fermenter. I need to sanitize the spigot and then I can attach the spring-loaded bottle filler. Sanitizing the bottles by hand. After pressing about 3 times, put them in a fast rack to drain out. And I repeat this process a couple of times. It's not necessary. And for sure this bottle is sanitized, ready for the bottling process, but better safe than sorry. I sanitized the valve on the fermenter. I assembled the spring-loaded bottle filler and attached it to the valve. Removed the top of the airlock so it won't suck the Clean solution into the fermenter when creating a vacuum. Bottle goes on the bottle filler. Don't know if you can see it. Come on, here. Opening the valve. I showed this so many times already on my channel, but I'm going to keep it short. Color looks nice, and I'm curious how the tasting sample smells. Going to fill the bottles all the way up to about this. So this will be about the headspace I'm using. But there's also some sugar coming in, so this will be the headspace. For the sake of this video, I'm first going to bottle this first bottle out of the fermenter. What I basically always do is opening a sachet of sugar. These are pre-measured sugar bags with 5 grams of sugar on it. In it, can you see it? 5 grams. Dumping it into the bottle. So you don't need a funnel or weigh all the sugars out. I have a container here with Clean solution and sanitized caps. Putting it on a magnet underneath the capper. One bottle is ready. Dissolving the sugar and up to the next ones. And here we are, about 3 weeks later, a little bit more than 3 weeks after bottling. This bottle has been in the refrigerator. It's, don't know if you can see it, but it's a little bit cloudy. Maybe it's some chill haze. Let's open it. I put some labels on it. So it's homebeerbrewery's Nectaron IPA version 1. 5.3% ABV, 7.7 ABC and 27 IBUs. I'm not expecting this one already to be perfectly carbonated. It's only a little bit more than 3 weeks old. I already told you. Let's open it. Here I have a clean IPA glass. Let's hear. Yeah, it's a nice sound. Here we go again, guys. Oh, it's a light car. 7.7 ABC. Carefully pouring it in. Yeah, it's very good carbonated. I really like carbonated beer. Oh, the smell is coming off, it's fantastic. Check this out. There's some good carbonation going on. Check on the foamy head. We'll see soon if there is some lacing going on. The aroma of this one is fantastic, phenomenal. Very fruity. I already can detect some citrusy, maybe some pineapple, peaches. Very fruity aroma. Let's dive in. Appearance is very nice and aroma is nice. Cheers to all of you. Oh. I brewed also batches that I didn't like, but this is a phenomenal beer. Nice body, malty flavor. What can I say? Nice bitterness, good aftertaste, and there's definitely some exotic fruits tasting going on. I suck at giving beer reviews, but I can tell you I really love this brew. Try it yourself, Nectaron hops. I also did a big batch, a 55 liter batch in the Braumeister. Almost the same recipe, but I used a different type of yeast. The verdant IPA. It gives this yeast produce also very fruity characteristics, and I'm really curious how that batch also turned out. I caked that one yesterday, so a lot of brewing going on at Homebeerbrewery's brewery. Check this out. Let's take a big sip and let's see if there is some lacing going on. Just a little bit to show, but it's a very young beer. It was not a lot of aroma of dry hop that I used in the fermenter. Next time I will be probably doing twice the amount. I will give you guys on this channel an update about some changes at my fermenter that I did, some purchases that I did. First of all, I want to thank you all for watching this video if you came to this point. Grain to glass, spontaneous video, but again, very happy and lucky with this beer. Cheers again, speak to you all soon. Thanks for watching. Remember, nothing is better than a good homebrew.